Alô? Caixista? É, porque ele gosta de caixa. E caixista é quem gosta do Xbox. Aí eu tentei juntar as duas coisas. Pô, piadinha de tiozão.
Boss, you can now give the order to develop or dispose of nuclear weapons from your iDroid. With a nuclear deterrent, even if you're discovered while infiltrating a rival PF's FOB,
Entendi nada.
those
Ai,
PFs won't dare
é
retaliate.
bobo. Não
But
precisa
you of all
entender.
people know how dangerous it can be to have nuclear weapons. So will you add nukes to our arsenal as a deterrent? Or will you take them away from other PFs and dispose of them to help build a world that's free of nuclear weapons? I'll leave that decision up to you.
Dá pra vir. Queria ver se dava pra ver por aqui sobre as armas nucleares, mas eu não lembro onde é. Tanto faz. Eu acho que em desenvolvimento. Talvez em dispositivo de segurança para criar arma nuclear? Não sei. Uma coisa que eu queria saber. Fazer meu braço foguete. Eu queria fazer meu braço foguete, cara. Foguete. 30. Beleza. Tá, vamos pra Mother Base. Pra ver se tem alguma cena. Se não tiver, eu tomo um banho. Mas é provavelmente eu termino Metal Gear essa semana. Eu quero terminar essa semana também. Deu. Cena nova. Chuva. É, acabei de falar. Ah, vai ser essa cena, lembrei qual é. Lembrei. Você vai fazer alguma coisa pro Rolim preto, hein? Seu zoom na bunda da Quiet. Mas sim, pretendo fazer alguma coisa no Halloween. It's raining, man. A menina tava desidratada, eu acho que ela tava, hein. Mano, quanto tempo a gente não vê o Big Boss sorrindo, velho. Oh não, eu estou molhado. Vou tomar banho pra me molhar um pouco mais. Tô com a bazuca ainda, velho.
Please landing zone.
Roger. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Ah,
Gaining altitude.
let me see when I give you up, never to let you down.
Commencing platform construction.
Never say goodbye. Guardar essa bazuca, eu acho que não vou precisar dela agora, né? Vou fazer a missão lá de pegar meu soldadinho lá de 9 anos atrás pra pegar foto pra Quiet. Enquanto isso eu vou
Mission
ver
list updated.
Pita. Deixa eu ver aqui.
Please select a landing zone.
Acho que mais suave é aqui.
Heading to Central Africa.
Acho que não vai ter mais um Metal Gear. Não, acho que não. Eu vou tirar isso daqui. Vamos pegar com silenciador. Pegar o padrão secundário. Vamos pegar de volta a pistola. Que granada não vai precisar. Nem C4. Nem usei eles. Só usei a granada. Parceiro tá com esse daqui. Ah, já tá com silenciador. Nice. E a roupa eu vou pegar esse daqui mesmo. Foda-se. Não, cancela não. Vai.
Deploying.
Chega você a pegar a pistolinha de água. Um dia, quando eu ver uma missão que, nossa, essa missão aqui vale a pena usar a pistolinha de água, eu vou usar a pistolinha de água. Não adianta levar a pistolinha de água e, saca, não usar ela. Não sei que missão seria essa, mas o que? Sei lá, alguma coisa que acho que estraga coisas eletrônicas, tá ligado?
Marker placed.
Estragar coisa eletrônica. Ah, eu tô na África, pensei que ia ser na África. Coisa eletrônica, alguma coisa de fogo. Coisas do tipo. Nossa, é verdade, será que a pistolinha ia ser bom contra o Metal Gear? Eu não sei se eu vou ter que subir montanha. Se eu subir aqui, tem como subir na real? Ah não, provavelmente vai ser bem aqui. Então daí eu não preciso subir na montanha.
Marker removed. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Tem como correr? Ah, dá pra correr.
Enemy presence detected.
Dá pra
The
correr
map
pra
has
caixa.
been updated.
Achei. Não sei se dá pra ver na tela, mas ele tá bem ali no meio.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Tá aqui, ó. Não aguento Snake na caixinha, não, ele é caixista.
Boss, I knew you were alive. I'm so happy, boss.
One of the guys out on a mission
I'm so happy, boss.
fallen a long way from the glory days. Will he come back to us? Bring him home, boss.
Side ops list updated. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Ué,
Boss, come on back to base.
ah tá, teve coisa nova. Agora levar a fotinha pra paz. É, eu tava indo pegar o helicóptero, mas eu já fui sozinho. Vai ter alguma cena. Meu gente tá sendo atacado de novo? Acho que não. Ó, o moleque tá aí. Você tá me olhando, pô. Quer tomar um tapão. Que é o moleque? Vai seguir ele?
There's been an accident in the boys' quarters. A pile of steel pipes gave way and crushed one of the kids. A boy named Ralph. They tell me he died instantly.
Morreu dos piá.
Sorry, boss. It's my fault. I should have been keeping an eye on them. I'll let you know if we learn something.
Tá, caiu uma tubulação na cabeça do pé e ele morreu, mano. Porque eu acho que não foi um acidente. Tá escrito aqui. Big Boss is watching you. Big Boss is watching you. Big Boss is watching you. Achei que o Ocelot tava de olho nas crianças. Eu também. Pois eu também. Eu nem ouvi a fita, né? Oh, cabeçudo. Tem muitas fitas. Tem que ouvir elas. Acho que eu vou fazer o seguinte, eu vou fazer uma missão secundária, porque eu sei que eu tenho que fazer uma missão secundária do 1 até o 45 para liberar o final. Então de qualquer forma eu teria que fazer. Aí eu faço uma missão principal. William, foto da paz. Verdade. É verdade.
A delivery point.
Mas o Ocelot e o Kais faz nada nessa desgraça. Ah, o cara é um cotoco. A gente pode relevar. Meu Deus, a música.
Has arrived.
Você está se sentindo romântica, parte? Puxa, ela levantou. Ela nunca levanta. Você está romântica, parte? O que te aconteceu? Olha, essa toda romântica. Tá dramática. O que foi? Fala. Tchau. Vou ver a paz lá. Poxa, você deu tchau também. Você vai fazer? Vai tomar um banho? Você vai dar os tremelique? Dá os tremelique, é engraçado os tremelique dela. Faz o tremelique. Pode tomar banho igual gente faz tremelique. Parece que tô invocando. Quiet está se sentindo romântico. Não, não quero fazer isso não. Eu acho que era aqui. É, aqui.
Welcome back, boss.
Oh, Snake. But is it Snake? Gallo Pinto! Amanda and I taught Cecile how to make it. She picked it up so fast. I was really surprised. I guess Parisians have cooking in the blood. Are Cecile and Amanda doing okay? I wonder why they haven't visited. I am so tired. I will just lie here a while.
Deixa eu ver, qual fotinho que eu tinha dado a última vez? É do peixe? Acho que é o peixe. É o pescou. Fala uma coisa aí.
Snake.
Eu vou embora. Do peixe foi, né?
Please select landing zone.
Roger.
O que a Quiet tem hoje, mano? Quiet está se sentindo chonada.
This is Speedquad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Chonando idoso. O Big Boss é Sugar Daddy.
Gaining altitude.
Bom, ele tá nos 50, não falta muito pra chegar na terceira idade. Pois é, né? O cabelo dele já tá ficando meio cinzentado já, né? O cabelinho dele tá ficando já. Não, eu peguei mais uma fita agora, velho. Ah não, era música. E o outro é Skullface. Caralho, tanto. É. E o da paz. 4 minutos. Beleza. Então, vamos fazer então uma missão principal. Vamos saber demais. Tá, vou fazer uma OP paralela mesmo e... mais um. Bom, vamos lá, mais uma foto. Já tô aqui mesmo. Não, eu vou parar aqui. Pode dar ruim. Mas De novo, mais uma foto. Galho Pinto. Acho que eu vou ouvir as fitas em sequência mesmo. Não tem muito não. Escolher. Se o caso não me interromper, obviamente. Sahelanthropus, material da habilidade Sahelanthropus.
Emmerich didn't go with depleted uranium for Sahelanthropus's armor because of its strength. He had nukes in mind. Exactly. It's meant to use its body as the fuel component for a nuclear weapon. Sahelanthropus uses built-in uranium enrichment archaea
Feijoada. Ah, é?
and extract uranium-235 from the depleted uranium in its armor. Those archaea perform the enrichment in an extremely short time. The concentration jumps by a factor of several hundred, from 0.2% to over 90%. The end result being highly enriched weapons-grade uranium. Sahelanthropus's body itself becomes a nuclear bomb. Emmerich says if it were to self-destruct, the nuclear yield would be somewhere in the region of 15 kilotons. Since you need
Não tô
about
conseguindo
50
mexer o
kilograms of highly
RB.
enriched uranium to trigger a nuclear reaction, that would mean Sahelanthropus
Feijão preto
contains
frito com
something
arroz
like
e mais uns
23 tons
bagulho.
of depleted uranium. That's not very much. No, it isn't. That's about what you'd expect to find in a main battle tank's armor. The point is, it can be transported anywhere, even use its conventional weaponry on the battlefield, and the international
Filha da
community
puta.
will never suspect a thing.
Buddy has infiltrated our map has been updated.
Errei.
You have arrived at your destination.
Captura.
I just received word from the R&D team and the transport team out of Afghanistan. They finished installing Sahelanthropus on the base. It's ours now. All right. Don't let any of the staff touch that thing. Especially Emmerich. Of course. That guy's crush on Sahelanthropus is beyond a joke. Guess he really wants to see his tech stand on its own two legs this time. That's not gonna happen. I know it. So you've got no plans to make it operational again? Damn right. Boss, I want to hear it straight from you. Hear what? What the hell do you want with that thing? The drive is busted. It's not like it has a nuke on board. Even if the metallic archaea could turn it into a nuclear weapon, all it can do is self-destruct. Sahelanthropus just isn't a weapon anymore. It'll draw unwanted attention without even being a deterrent. I know. The weapon's development strut sank 2 feet under that thing's weight. That's 1 year's drop in a single night. We've started on reinforcing the strut, but there's no guarantee it'll hold
peguei.
up if the storm hits. I know that too. Boss, why keep it? It's a mark. Us diamond dogs, we don't have a country to call home. That means we have no past, nothing to prove that we lived. Every one of us threw it all away when we came here. Sahelanthropus is a symbol to show that the likes of us brought at least one crisis to its end. A mark in history. So we can't just fade away. It's of no practical use to us. But we still need it. A symbol of what we've done. I'm glad I sounded you out on this. Snake, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you. I don't need gratitude. I need security. Keep Emmerich away from that thing. Roger that.
Ele ficou invisível. Mas é, basicamente guardaram os Sahelanthropus pra mostrar pra eles quem eles são, basicamente. É um troféu. Cara, eu perdi um homem.
Sun will rise momentarily.
eu perdi o homem. Convenhamos, eles guardam porque ninguém sabia o que fazer com o treco. Plausível, viu? I can't see shit.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Agora vai ser do Skullface, né? Trocentas fitas. Não, arca metálica. Mecanismo de segurança da subtração nuclear.
You said that the nuke Skullface was trying to spread around the world were equipped with a failsafe. Something that could shut them down at will. His will.
Quite so. After all, he needed a guarantee that a buyer wouldn't simply turn the weapons back on him.
So how can they be stopped?
The criticality trigger, that is, the detonator, is a complete black box design. Any attempt to dismantle it causes it to melt in seconds, using the corroding archaea. The design ensures that no detonation is possible unless he disengages the lock.
So he had a way to disengage it remotely.
Precisely. The client simply presses a button. At that moment, the detonator begins transmission with a surveillance satellite. The satellite reports to him how the client is trying to use the nuke. If he does not object, the lock is disengaged.
But if it's a risk to him in any way,
The detonator melts down. The same is true if detonation does not occur within a preset time after the lock is disengaged. The nuke is rendered useless.
Who the hell would buy something with strings attached like that?
The client would never know
Enemy presence.
until the moment they actually try to use it. Most likely, he would have explained the time delay as the detonators needing time to activate. And he only intended to sell to technologically primitive groups in the first place.
let me guess. He'd claim it was defective and offer a replacement. Shadier than a used car salesman.
Skullface shakes your hand like a friend, using the other to control you like a puppet. This is how he works.
Achei o fujão.
The map has been updated.
Calma, Quiet. Ele é amigo. Quiet já tá como?
Boss? Is it really you? I never believed you were dead. Not for a minute.
One of the guys out on a mission at the time. He's fallen a long way from the glory days. But he can come back to us. Bring him home, boss.
Deleted.
Vou continuar ouvindo as fitas e vou roubar uns homens por aí.
Extraction arrived
Coach
at Mother Base.
Talker, sua pesquisa parasitas vivendo dentro de nós.
Code Talker. Haven't seen you eat a single thing since you got here. Let me guess. Photosynthesis?
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, a long time ago I knew
Eu tinha
someone
fugido
with a
mesmo, ele
similar
tinha,
ability.
correu mesmo.
Well, you are correct. Most of my body is covered with parasites. I supply them with water, and in return I receive sugars they produce when exposed to light.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just my skin either. The parasites also act as my eyes. They have replaced many of my internal organs as well. It is thanks to them that I live on after over a century.
How did you obtain them anyway? Through your research?
I would like to say as much, but there is more to it than that. Let me take you back 20 years. I had hit a dead end with my parasite research. Then I was approached by a foundation. They said they had a sample of an unusual strain of parasite.
Which foundation?
Apparently, they had links to Arpon. But that is all I learned. I was somewhat ignorant of the ways of the world. Just being able to study it was enough for me.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Go on.
Half in doubt, I visited them to discover the
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
To be precise, his partial remains. A collection of parts, you could say. The man had died in an explosion.
An old man, you
He's
said?
coming too. Roger that.
Not decomposed. In fact, the tissues themselves were still metabolizing. The parasite had infected, or should I say assimilated with, the tissues, and was keeping them alive. I became obsessed with studying the body parts, foregoing food and even sleep. Every day was filled with new discoveries. The parasite's biology, internal...
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
But there was only so much I could learn through observation. And so I made a decision. To truly know the parasites, I had to live with them.
So, you implanted them inside you from the dead man's flesh?
Correct. It was quite a gamble, whether or not they would adapt to me. But fortunately, it appears I was compatible with them. Or perhaps, through my many years of research, my immune system learned to tolerate them.
Were they that body's only parasite?
Yes. However, there was a separate specimen that supplied its host with adrenaline in response to pain, and yet another that could control insects at will through secreting heterogeneous pheromones. I wanted exposure to them, to take them into me.
Você é doido,
But
velho.
my wishes were denied. Their records, though, provided clues that helped advance my research. Would you care to join me? A life spent never worrying about food is a most wonderful one.
I think I'll pass. But thanks. This has been helpful.
Ela fez a pesquisa sobre um homem que explodiu. Beleza. Objetivo de Skullface. Agora um monte aqui.
Skullface has finally burned out. The world is rid of his existence at last.
Was he still alive?
You could say that. But you could also say he'd been dead for decades.
What's that supposed to mean?
Biologically speaking, it's hard to say how much was his life.
Side effects from the treatment?
No, the primary effect. Keeping a dying host alive as long as possible. That is the whole point. But in the end, he grew too dependent on his children. As if he had any other way to keep on living. He first underwent parasite therapy before the Soviet Union became his home. His body was horribly burned. Fire washed across his thin young frame and stole his skin and his throat, even his lungs. Only through repeated therapies could the parasites keep him alive. Most of his life became something the parasites gave to him.
And then he lost the ability to die.
That is correct. The parasites live on past the host's death, still aiding cell composition. At that stage, there is no way to extract them from the host cells. There is no way of knowing when the last cell of Skullface's body would die. The only choice was to burn the whole thing. And his children, along with it.
He's coming too. Roger that.
And I am one to talk.
Analysis complete.
When my life is snuffed out, I expect you to treat my body the same way. And when I burn, I will truly be one with my children for the first time. You say there were 3 English vocal parasites.
According to Skullface,
Yeah. Skullface had 2 of the English strain with him. You burned both of them,
there was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
so that just leaves 1. And you tell me Skullface said he used it.
He said it was very close to me.
Very.
Tinha um carro aqui, velho. É.
One of your comrades, or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Não ouvi.
Metaphorically.
Close to your spirit. Close
Woods.
to your heart.
Roubei.
Someone who either loves you or despises you.
The second one makes a long list.
Whichever it is, act with caution. Skullface implanted some
You gotta extract him.
English language strain. Who it is irrelevant.
Why?
Bem perto, tava literalmente dele do lado.
Very close to you means you will be exposed. All the infected here have
He's coming too. Roger that.
even if the vocal cord parasites infect them now, they cannot reproduce. But if there's a different host among us, host to the English strain,
If that were the case, we'd see the symptoms.
Mas os caras me interrompendo, caralho.
English speakers.
We have plenty of those, but the staff use English as a common language.
But if that someone has not spoken English yet and begins to speak it now,
There'd be another outbreak.
the final mating pair of the English strain must be found immediately. Skullface is gone, but his threat still remains. On this base, do you see what the final mating pair is? With him dead, those parasites are the stain he wished to leave upon the world. His thirst for vengeance.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Think. Does anyone here bear a grudge against you? Who would target you specifically?
The ethnic
He's coming too. Roger that.
They weren't Skullface's true goal. All we have is circumstantial evidence, but here's my theory. It was Cypher who started developing the vocal cord parasites as bioweapons, parasitic weapons, and Africa was the testing ground for them. As Code Talker said, their purpose is the ethnic cleansing of only those who speak a particular
Não sabe eles que o Liquid tem um amiguinho agora. Pois é, né? Verdade.
Eradicate specific groups, races, ethnicities, or colonies by the language they speak. Or a kind of absolute language control. Or maybe a tool for those arrogant fools to build some misguided utopia. I can see plenty of uses for them. However, in practical terms, they wouldn't be as dangerous as you think. Counteracting the parasites is easy, after all. Cut them out of your throat to save your life, or just don't talk. That also prevents the infection from spreading. So if the international community were to find out about them, they'd no longer be the threat they were conceived to be. In which case, their targets would be limited to minority groups as a deterrent or a terrorist tool. It's hard to imagine Cypher developing something like that as a main weapon for their arsenal. That leads me to think we've only tugged on one little thread in Cypher's grand tapestry. An obscure corner of their work, possibly forgotten altogether. In any case, things changed. When Skullface was forced to relocate to Africa and he saw that thread dangling. All the time he continued that research, he was secretly following his own agenda. The ethnic liberator parasites. His English language strain. Skullface said there were only 3 samples of the English language strain parasite, and I think we can believe him. Bringing his ethnic liberator's plan to fruition depended on creating an English version of the vocal cord parasites at all costs. But an English strain would have been useless to Cypher. Worse, it could have destroyed everything they'd built. It was the one type they couldn't allow. That means Skullface was forced to develop his English strain out of sight of Cypher's network. Naturally, he couldn't use the greenhouse facility Cypher had set up and filled with guinea pigs. Skullface must have found some secret place to create his precious few English parasites, hiding all evidence like a man cheating on his wife. Somewhere, an entirely standalone environment. And when his plan entered its final phase, he must have made the place disappear. Some little room could be anywhere, but now nowhere at all. We'll never know where he did it. Cyber surveillance. I believe Skullface was telling the truth. There were only ever 3 samples of the English language strain. Why activate Sahelanthropus in Afghanistan? This is how Skullface wanted things to play out. The Soviet Union secretly develops a new type of nuclear weapon and successfully deploys it in Afghanistan. Revealing the existence of Sahelanthropus results in a return to the glory days of the Cold War. The threat it poses reignites the nuclear arms race between the world's major powers. The demand for nuclear weapons increases around the globe. What if you then introduced a nuclear weapon anyone could defend? Non-nuclear nations, militant groups of all shapes and sizes, they'd all jump at the chance. Sahelanthropus was a marketing tool to sell nukes all around the world. But I think it's safe to say that plan was stamped out before it got up and running. The world's intelligence agencies never did turn up anything conclusive on it. After all, Sahelanthropus vanished before word could spread. Everything that's happened is already a fading memory, never to join the pages of history. Except for Cypher. Cypher won't forget. They'll already be working on something, quiet beneath the surface. They'll use the pieces of data scraped together from this incident to build their own bipedal weapon. It'll take them a long time to complete it, but for now, the greed sector has found...
You gotta extract him.
We'll have to be ready too.
E dá paz.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Miller even expected me to write the lyrics. He even said he had thought of the
Por que
title.
todo mundo quer fazer tanque de guerra com perna? Porque é legal.
As if he had done the hard part. Deterrence.
Ora.
Love. Deterrence. Deterrence is when nuclear weapons prevent war, right? I do not see how love fits in. But it was too late to complain, so I just sat and listened.
He's coming too. Roger that.
And the professor's melody over and over again. I guess the melody is more Professor Galvez's creation than Miller's, but on the whole, I think it is actually a good song. First, it goes for your heart with a sorrowful opening.
You gotta extract him.
Vitalized as the song goes on. Miller grew up in post-war Japan. Maybe that is why the song has that kind of balance. Long ago, I heard some Japanese music called enka, I think. It sounded this way. But I wonder why it has to sound sad in the first place.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Doesn't that mean he had a love song in mind? All I see is Miller.
Roger.
He fooled around with a lot of them at once.
Caralho, pode interromper.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I found myself thinking about Chico and Snake as well.
Puta que...
I know Chico has a crush on me.
Pera aí.
Naturally, he should come to.
Потерял визуальный контакт. Перемещаюсь к последней известной позиции. Прием.
It sounded this way.
Реагируйте на каждое движение. Конец связи.
Cale a boca, véi.
But I wonder why it has to sound sad in the first place. Miller called it love deterrence. Doesn't that mean he had a love song in mind? All I see is Miller and women is the way he fooled around with a lot of them at once. But maybe he has had his heart broken too. And what about me? I found myself thinking about Chico and Snake as well. I know Chico has a crush on me. So naturally he should come to mind. But why Snake? He saved me, and I feel indebted to him. But I thought that was all he meant to me. Why Why does my heart flutter when I think of him?
Que isso?
To be unable to control these emotions, there has to be a way to suppress it, to forget it. But maybe that is what love deterrence is.
Todo mundo gosta de um velho, mano.
I went to my desk and began to write and write. Just 3 days left until Peace Day.
Todo mundo gosta do velho. Não adianta. Snake tá sendo popular com as novinhas. Que isso, mano. Snake é Sugar Daddy. Eu agora vou entregar lá a fita.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Fita não, foto. Caralho, mano, hoje tá calor, hein? Que desgraça. Ah, tem mais uma fita ainda que eu não peguei. Não, eu acho que é música que eu peguei agora. É boa, é boa.
Please select a landing heading to Mother Base.
O velho brilha. A mira do Ocelot tá ruim hoje. Oxi. A mira do Ocelot tá sempre ruim. Vamos mandar lá a fotinha.
Please select a delivery.
Boss, welcome home.
A oba. Nossa, tua barriga tá meio suja.
Snake?
She's been acting differently lately. Before, she'd respond to conversation. just as long as it didn't conflict with her timeline. But now nothing gets a reaction from her.
What happened?
No idea. Well, Miller did go and tell her that Skullface is dead. If anyone should want revenge against him, it would be her. But it's not exactly like an angel of peace to cheer for someone's death. Now is it?
Quebrou de vez a menina.
There, take a look at this too. See it? Right there.
The wound is open.
Yeah, it was all closed up and then it went back to this.
But why?
The medic has no idea how it happened. He figures it must have been self-inflicted.
Tá, mas a fotinha. Tem que voltar aqui depois? Fazer o seguinte, então. Eu vou fazer uma missão principal e vou voltar aqui para ver se entrega a foto.
Please landing zone.
Roger. This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. On station at LZ.
Bora.
Please select a mission.
The agent that the CIA had working for them inside OKB-0 has gone missing. We've been given the job of finding and extracting him. The target learned of XOF's plans to use vocal cord parasites and had hidden himself with the CIA's Mujahideen allies. But following Skullface's death, the Soviets retook OKB-0 and all contact with the target was lost. He may have tried to go back to OKB-0, but even Langley isn't sure what's going on. After all, they've never even learned of Skullface's plan. That's probably what they want to get out of the man once he's extracted. But we can't allow Langley to learn of the existence of the vocal cord parasites. That's why I want you to bring the target out, boss. Once we have him, we can report him dead and keep him on base. All contact with Langley is being conducted through a cutout. Our reputation should remain intact. As for the reward, it's already in the hands of the cutout. All you have to do is get the job done. Just like always.
Mission
Porque eu sinto que essa missão não vai ser
heading to
simples.
Afghanistan.
Não, vou com a pistola só mesmo.
Deploying.
Bom, é verdade, né? Até agora eu não usei nenhuma vez o robozinho. Peguei a quest e fiquei só com ela mesmo.
extract the missing CIA agent. The target was laying low with a friendly Mujahideen during the vocal cord parasites incident. The man headed back to OKB-0 after the Soviets.
O robô meio merda, ele não é muito stealth, velho. Talvez eu pegue ele quando fazer a missão repetida lá de destruir os tanques. Numa dessas daí eu pego o robozinho. Acho que a Quiet não vai dar muito dano nos tanques de guerra com um rifle, tá ligado? Tá, bora correr pra cá então. Vamos botar pra reconhecer aqui. Correr, né? Quiet podia me levar no colo. Mas não, vou sozinho. Nossa, mas ela decolou. Nossa, mano, 700 metros ainda, velho. Não é à toa que o Snake tá coxudo, velho. Dá pra eu dar uma volta ou vir pela esquerda já. Cortar caminho já. Tô vindo pra cá? Não. Por algum motivo a Twitch no meu celular fechou, velho. Deixa eu ligar aqui de volta. Pronto, tô vendo o chat de volta. Tem umas luzes ali. Ah, é o robô. Deixa eu ver se não tem armadilhas. Bem que não tinha dito nada. É que não ia haver nada. Eu tô bem baludo hoje, hein? Ah... Bom, é aqui, né? É. Isso. Tá, tem mais robô ali. Tô vendo algo ali. Achei. É, mas eles vão achar também. Será que eu... Ele tá usando escudo. Dois. Vamos pensar um pouquinho aqui. 3. Vamos esperar os 3. Vou acertar bem na bunda. Foda-se. O outro tá bem na bunda. Eles acharam, mas eu também. Ele viu. Dormiu. Vamos ver aqui. Pego aqui, taco ali. Ui. Vai vir reforço, então eu só vou pegar aqui. Está vivo? Está vivo. Boa sorte, amigo.
Please select a landing support helicopter requested. Has been updated. The map has been updated.
Cara, eu consegui chegar a tempo correndo a pé. Impressionante. Eles vão vir? Vão. Não tem problema. Opa, eu errei. Acertei. O helicóptero vai vir aqui. Não é ninguém. Acho que é isso. Agora é só curtir o Rick Roll. Depois de ter feito uma missão que provavelmente eu tirei um S. Com certeza. Quer ver que eu não tirei S nesse? Tomei tiro, porrada e bomba lá no Metal Gear. Tirei um S.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project has been added.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.
Eu tirei. Acho bom. Pô. Porque às vezes eu faço uma missão que eu, pô, isso fui bem, aí eu vou lá e tiro um B. Primeiro e segundo achei que não ia ser um S, eu também, mano.
Boss, the target filled us in on what's been going on. He betrayed the Soviets, passing information to Langley, but got scared after learning XOF used the vocal cord parasites. Then came feelings of guilt that his leaks sent comrades to their deaths, and fear that America might deploy such a weapon itself. But in reality, XOF and Langley don't have a collaborative relationship, and Skullface was not working for America. Still, I can't blame the man for being afraid. After laying low with the Mujahideen, he tried to cut his ties with the US and return to the Soviet military. But along the way, someone came after him, and he was forced back into hiding. Could have been remnants of XOF looking to silence him. And you know the rest. He doesn't seem to know much about the parasites, but nevertheless, it'd be too dangerous to hand him over to Langley or the Soviets. We'll keep him here as originally planned.
Caralho, mano. Tá sendo enxurrada de fita agora. Puta que pariu. Battle Gear concluído. Ele pode ser expedido com unidades em missões de expedição. Se pediu lore. Tava faltando lore pra você. Eu achei que ia ser maior, sinceramente. Ah, vai usar o Railgun. O Railgun. Porque todas as armas do Rui precisam ter um Railgun. Eu acho que ele gosta muito de um Railgun. Ah, então tá bom, né? Ah, nem posso ver. Não posso. Caralho, né, Rui? Por isso que o nome dele é Rui, é Rui.
Boss, we need evidence to prove our suspicions about Emmerich. Head to the central base camp in Afghanistan and recover that AI pod. It's time we purge Diamond Dogs of that traitorous parasite once and for all.
Isso daqui? Ah, tá aqui, e unidade IA. É importante eu fazer esses dourados porque é principal. Beleza, então. Ele falou pra eu mandar um dispatch, né? Agora, onde faz isso? Aqui, né?
Please select a mission.
Vamos mandar esse mesmo. Mandar esse daqui mesmo. Ué, não é assim? Então eu não sei o que é. Vai, destrói lá a capaceta. Chama o helicóptero. A Mimir. Olha o tanque, é o Metal Gear ali. Dá pra olhar ele. Uau! Ele tá com uma bateria ali no rabo dele. Estão recarregando ele. Beleza, então eu vou nessa missão.
We need evidence to prove our suspicions about Emmerich. Head to the central base camp in Afghanistan and recover that AI pod. It's time we purge Diamond Dogs of that traitorous parasite once and for all.
Vamos lá pegar a IA, que pode ser a prova dela. Pode me fornecer informações que confirmam suspeitas contra Emmerich.
Select a landing zone.
É aquela IA que a gente chegou no mesmo lugar que a gente tinha resgatado ele. Dessa vez eu vou vir pra
To Afghanistan.
cá. A IA não é a boss? Aham, é a mesma voz. É que a IA lá da boss estava lá naquele Metal Gear da Hatsune Miku, lá no Peace Walker, aquele lá fundou. Mas ainda tá a mesma voz na outra IA. Vou de noite, hein? Sinceramente, naquela base ali é melhor ir de noite. Isso aí reto, né? Muito, é pra cá, se não me engano.
Marker placed.
Esperar a Quiet. Tomar meio cuidado com essas estradas aqui, que é fácil de ter uns soldados.
Enemy presence detected. Buddy has infiltrated and the map has been updated.
Por cima aqui.
Presence detected. The map has been updated.
Tá bom. Deixa eu dar um socão aqui. Tá, só tem um ali que vejo. Poucos homens? Ou impressão minha? Bom, tem tem uma central de energia ali. Se eu quiser uma baguncinha, eu consigo. Eu vou por baixo,
The map
normal.
has been updated.
Consigo subir aqui? Consigo. Peraí.
Caution, sandstorm approaching. Analysis complete.
Tá, vou esperar esse caminhão. Ou não vai precisar. Começar a tempestade de areia. Começou. Aproveitar e... Aproveitar, passando nesses caras aqui. Deve ter gente aqui na minha direita, virando essa esquina. Muito provavelmente. Cortar aqui. Tem gente aqui. Ficar esperto. Por enquanto não. Que eu lembrei era aqui. Tem gente aqui dentro? Não tem. Putz. Será que tá aqui ainda? Vamos ver aqui em cima. Mas eu acho que não tá aqui. Mudaram o lugar. Mudaram o lugar, velho. Se mudar um lugar,
Analysis complete.
Talvez pra lá. Acho que eu vou fazer o seguinte, eu vou falar com aquele guardinha que tá ali. Dar uma conversadinha com ele. Se bem que é fácil aquele cara ali me ver de longe. Ou não, vamos ver. Tem uma ideia. Tem uma ideia. 60 metros de menos. Você vai ficar aí mesmo? Espero que você fique aí. Putz. Não consigo ver. Não, Chu não. Eu me esbarrei nesse pedaço de cone. Filha da puta. Filha da puta de cone. Se bem que tá aí falta guarda aqui, hein.
Where are your friends?
The map has been updated.
Legal, ele não me falou nada. Ele só me mostrou os containers. Eu vou catar esses containers. Principalmente de combustível. Ó, tem 3 aqui de combustível. Vou ver se o cara me vê daqui 80 metros. Mas eu vou ter que procurar na raça mesmo. Porra, jurava que ia estar aqui, cara. Se bem que aqui parece que tem mais segurança, então talvez esteja lá no meio. Achei que você ia embora com o container, né? Pior que dá. Só que daí eu vou ter que voltar aqui de qualquer jeito. Pior que dá pra ir junto com o container. Se você joga o balão e fica lá em cima e segura, te manda embora. E gente, aqui tem não, né? White tá mirando em alguém. Tem mais homens ali, realmente deve estar lá então. Tá 9h30, eu tenho tempo. Mas tá ali. Tem 4 homens ali. Um na minha esquerda. E aqui tá ali o lugar. Fazer o seguinte. Vou fazer o seguinte. Vou vir nesse que tá sozinho. Se ele realmente estiver sozinho. Deixa eu ver. Ah, tem mais um ali, ó. Mais 2. Tem alguém por perto. Esperar ele vir. Isso mesmo que eu queria. Isso mesmo que eu queria. Planejei, era exatamente isso que eu queria.
Analysis complete.
Aí, ali. Tá, mas como é que eu vou levar essa porra agora? Ah, bom. Ah, tá bom. Sim, discreto. Ui. Tava aqui. É mesmo?
Ever since you woke up? Well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgin.
Era o Volgin. O homem do fogo era o Volgin. Vou embora. Valeu, falou. Vamos quarto. Sobe aqui.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
O homem do fogo, a tocha humana. Vogue não era o cara que apopou as bolas de Snake, ele mesmo. O cara do choque e tudo mais. Lembra que daí Ele explodiu? Ele morreu lá na explosão enquanto o Snake e a Eva ficavam se beijando lá? É... Nossa, eu esqueci de ouvir a fita fazendo essa missão, mas eu... Tá foda, mano. Mas que caralho, eu não posso esquecer, é muita coisa. Recupere os restos do homem em chamas, é o Volgin, olha só. Ah tá, ele evoluiu de choquinho pra fogo. É... Eu vou... Acho que eu vou por trás. Agora... Agora eu vou de pistolinha de água. Foda que eu vou estar sem o meu... Bom, só se eu levar esse daqui, só que faz barulho. Pronto, eu tenho agora a minha arminha de água. Eu tô ready agora eu tô ready. Verdade, será que acaba a água? Tipo, acabou a munição, mas é água. Será que acaba a água? Não é infinito. Pera, eu quero ver como é que ele recarrega a arma. Vai fazer splash, splash. Opa, vem cá rapidão. Essa fica... Ah, eu botei no cantil. Eu recarrego pelo cantil. É, faz sentido. Corte de... Não, a corte deve estar tipo... gostoso, aguinha. Eu gosto. Imagina se ela começa a ter aquele tremelique tudo de novo. Acho que eu vou subir... Acho que dá pra subir por aqui. Vamos ver. Visão noturna, porque eu não sei se os caras vão estar aqui ou ter a armadilha. Uns 50 metros ali. Caralho, eu tô bem em cima na real. Nossa, tem uma visão toda aqui de cima.
Analysis complete. The map has been updated. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Tá, mas eu tenho que achar os restos. Acho que eu tava esperando tudo neste jogo, menos o Volgin. Não tava esperando que ia ser o Volgin. Ah, 22 metros, ele vai escutar quando eu pegar esse cara daqui perto. Tá, eu vou fazer o seguinte. Espero que a Quiet me dê cobertura.
The map has been updated.
Matou o namoradinho dele e depois ainda explodiu ele. Mas faz sentido porque ele tinha tanta raiva do Snake. Sim, mano. Zoou tudo o rolê. Zoou basicamente o rolê inteiro. Cara. Tá, 30 metros, 34, 36, 19. Vou entrar aqui dentro. Perdido. Acho que eu vou tentar entrar ali. O problema é aquele cara ali.
The map has been updated.
É, o cara de cima escutou. Mas tem aquele ali com 15 metros. Vou ter que ser esperto aqui. Ok. Cara. Tá difícil essa daqui, eu não sei muito bem onde ele tá não. Se eu fosse um homem muito grande de fogo morto-vivo, eu estaria onde? Eu estaria onde? Olho bom, olho bom. Se bem que eu tô na luz, né? Cara, acho que eles não sabem.
Has been updated.
Infelizmente eu acho que eu vou ter que ser um pouco mais caótico nisso daqui do que eu tô tentando não ser. Impressionante os olhos desses caras aqui. Vamos ver se eu consigo vazar. Bosta. É. Cara, eu não sei onde tá o cara. Ninguém sabe onde eu tô. Ah, eles sabem. Meu Deus, que desastre. Cadê o Volga? Tá aqui? Não tá. Tá aqui? Não tá. Au. Eu vou postar quanto que ele vai estar no lugar mais aleatório possível. Não duvido, mano, tá? Cadê o cara, velho? Opa, quanta coisa aqui. Chutei o balde mesmo. Não tô achando o cara. Pelo menos a corte botou todo mundo pra dormir. Verdade, né? Eu esqueci de ouvir a fita. KKKKK. Todo esse tempo. Mais coisas do Skullface. Os hambúrgueres de... Os hambúrguer de Miller. Cara, onde ele tá? Até escutaria a fita agora, mas tá um desastre. Até parece que é difícil assim achar um cara de 2 metros pegando fogo constantemente. Pois é, né? Nem que ele esteja apagado. Tira. 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 Eu já vim aqui, né? É. Eu tô em dúvidas onde ele pode estar. Vamos ver aqui. Recupera o resto do Homem Chamas. Você tem que se virar mesmo. Pois eu vou roubar os homens, mano. Ah, esse daqui tá morto. Ah, filha da puta! Oi! Porra, não viu o cara? Ele tá muito escuro ali na sombra, velho. Ele tá apagado. E tá escuro. Ó, parece um fósforo gastado. Se você tirar todos os homens, vem mais homem? Não, só se eles chamarem reforço. Bye. Ele explodiu. Não tá morto não, é só tá um pouquinho chamuscado. Mas olha, ele tá usando a mesma roupa, é ele mesmo. As balas ali em volta do peito dele que ele deixava. É a porra do Vogue. Você não vai me apalpar, né? Ai, o homem. Só um beijinho. Uabara, Uabara. Ou é Kawabara? Não lembro. Kawabara? Porra, eu trouxe minha pistolinha de água à toa mesmo. Pensei que eu ia fazer squish, squish na cara dele. Não, isso saiu muito errado, não. Jogar só aguinha na cara dele, só isso.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
I barely recognize you, Colonel. Skullface used your thirst for revenge against Big Boss, did he?
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job offers. The details are on your iDroid.
Onde eu tô? Ah, eu tô na plataforma de quarentena. Como é que eu vou embora? Poxa, eu não usei minha pistolinha, velho. Tô triste. Eu peguei mais fita que eu não escutei. He let you down. Eu não sei se chegou a dar uma olhada, mas o Rick Roll ele refez o clipe nesse ano? Sabe disso não? Ele refez.
Boss, about Eli. No matter how many times we talk to him, he just won't listen. He sees everything in terms of victory or defeat and still won't accept that you beat him. We're gonna have to put him in his place. Again. If you don't mind, come back to Mother Base and go another round with him.
Puta que pariu, eu vou ter que ir lá e educar o moleque, porque ninguém consegue.
Please select a landing zone.
Acabei de ver. Lá vou eu dar uns tapas de volta no Liquid. Mas porque a... Porque... Do nada, por que vão torturar a Quiet? Pra ela falar? Foi uma propaganda? Ah, não sabia que era uma propaganda. Só vi um trecho lá. Caralho, mas que a Quiet fez? Ou não fez? Gente, a menina é muda, vocês não entenderam ainda. Então, não vai falar, velho. Eu acho que ela não vai querer falar. Ela sabe falar. Não tem como falar, então. Se ela canta.
Anything? Still living up to her name.
How about you drop the act? Who infected you with a parasite?
We can't let her talk. Put it back.
All I want's a name. That won't trigger anything.
Será?
Tell me. Tell me! Your lungs have been barbecued. There's traces of rubbing alcohol in your alveoli. This was found adhered to your lungs, intact. A petal. White Star of Bethlehem. The hospital. Skullface sent you to Cyprus to kill Snake. You were burned inside and out. That should have been the end of it. But, all things considered, you look pretty damn healthy to me. We have Skullface to thank for that, right?
I was the only one capable of applying them to parasite therapy. Until he stole them from me.
Why are you here?
Just to suffer.
Did Skullface send you? Or did you have your own score to settle with the boss?
É, isso com certeza não é água. Vocês não acham que se fosse pra matar o Snake já teria feito um...
to kill the boss, he'd already be dead. Same goes for us. She's had plenty of chances. She can talk. She's not here to kill anyone. You're wasting your time. It doesn't matter why she's here. She works for you now. She's in love with the legend.
Ficou meio óbvio, né?
What makes you so sure?
I was the same way once.
Ah, também se apaixonou?
What if she's a spy?
What if I'm a spy? For you. Go on all day.
Boss,
Let her go. She won't speak so she can't spread the infection. Tisch? ليش ناقد انتي؟
Ela falou.
Idiki black anat e.
Oh. Ako kode jis desu ni.
Ne bizarre.
Belagana gesneta. Kato be yasteta. Asetota. Dodo ni shita. Dodo ni shita.
Ah, então o Skullface mandou mesmo pra ela ser capturada e falar inglês lá pra todo mundo ficar com o vírus. Mas não falhou. Tá, então... Que é isso? O desafio de Eli. Ah! Eu tenho que bater lá no moleque, né? Então vamos aqui no RD. Não, claramente o Snake é lindo demais e todo mundo é meio... Exato. De novo, o Liquid ele não quer ficar, ele não quer obedecer os outros. Ele não aceita. Ele tá naquela idade, sabe? Tá naquela idade. Eu vou chegar com a minha caixinha e pegar minha caixa e bater na boca dele. Eu vou com a minha pistolinha de água bater nele. É isso aí, vamos ver. Achei que nessa idade é pra ele estar pensando em peito e não ficar batendo em idoso. Não, é que ele é diferente. Ele só pensa no próprio peito. Vamos lá, pia. Você quer um pedaço de mim? Vamos então. Ah, tá com nada de flashbang agora? Eu sei que ele tá aqui. Aguinha! Aguinha! Vem cá! Aguinha! Que deu de granada pro moleque. Com certeza roubado. Você errou, moleque. Tu é ruim, hein? Eu jogo. Agora não, moleque. Agora tu me irritou. Vem cá. Ô, moleque. Au. Moleque. Será que ele se distrai? Vamos ver. Ah, eu errei.
Caution, heavy mist anticipated.
Porra, ele não se distrai com aquilo. O moleque é bom mesmo. Ou não, ele tem um QI muito avançado. Ele não desconfiou daquele bonequinho. Oxi! Ué! Ah, talvez porque eu tava agachado, por isso que acabou não batendo. Piá do céu, você tá... Você passou do limite agora. Vai morrer pra quê? Não sei. Ah, tá. É, não tem como negar que é o líquido, já é. Só falta me dar cabeçada. Apanhou 2 vezes e agora? Quer a terceira?
As that rat finally accepted that he lost, hopefully now he'll be a bit more obedient.
Development project has been added.
Moleque. Vai sim, aham, é, vai pô. A IA tá aqui, velho. Ah, muito empenho subir tudo isso.
Please the landing zone.
Acho que tem mais nada aqui, né? Não.
This is Speedquad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Speedquad. On station at LZ.
Ah. Piu. Piu. Olha o Metal Gear. Deixa eu ver aqui. Não.
Please select a mission.
Legado amaldiçoado. Resgate 2 contêineres carregados com materiais de pesquisa de Cold Talkers. Os contêineres estão escondidos na selva. O helicóptero da XOF está a caminho para buscá-los. Ou eu faço esse daqui, daí eu deixo esses daqui, por exemplo, depois, talvez, que são repetidos, né? Então vamos aqui, destruir o equipamento de comunicação soviético para evitar que reforços sejam enviados aos postos. Bora então. Ué? Ao confirmar essa missão, iniciar imediatamente sem preparação para investida. What? Eu tô com uma pistola. Porque é muito ruim, eu tô com pistolinha de água. Tá, vou fazer isso, depois eu faço aqui então, talvez. É que tá dourado de qualquer forma. Meu irmão, onde eu tô? Ah, me achei. Aqui tá a mansão. Contêineres carregados. Onde eles devem estar? Se eu fosse uns containers, eu acho que estaria mais aqui. Bom, vamos ver. Não. Não. Sim. E vou botar a porra das fitas. Tem que ouvir fita, caralho. Eu tô esquecendo das fitas. Fita. Tá acumulando fita.
Boss, Code Talker's research has been stolen. The research materials have been packed into 2 containers and hidden in the jungle southwest of the mansion. Enemy extraction choppers will be there any minute. You have to find and retrieve those containers before they arrive.
Ah, você sempre quer das fitas, eu esqueço, mano. Vou ver. Ai. Eu tenho. Vou ver as fitas douradas primeiro. Melhor. Não tem esse do Homem em Chamas, mas eu vou realmente pegar primeiro os dourados. Putz, pior que era lá.
Before we met you, the boss recovered it from a truck crossing the savannah. Are there metallic archaea inside it?
Yes, the archaea metabolize uranium-235 to subsist. They must be stored inside Yellow Cake, or they cannot survive.
So those biological traces we took for impurities were actually the real cargo?
Of course, they are deactivated, so they do not trigger a sudden enrichment. They are like baker's yeast. Yet, they do gradually enrich the uranium as they feed. I imagine you detected weapons-grade traces.
Yeah, we did. And the malachite that was loaded on the truck had traces of uranium in it too. So that's the flower, huh? Skullface was gonna sell do-it-yourself nuke kits. The uranium-enriching archaea complete with a user's manual. And the ores with the uranium could be sourced by the client or provided by Cypher.
Even the trace amounts buried in common ores can be enriched to weapons-grade uranium by the metallic archaea. Proving that must have been the most important factor of the trials. That and the ability to successfully prevent detonation.
So if the amounts of uranium in the ores are low enough, they can get past any inspection. And you only need a tiny amount of the archaea to act as the yeast. No great challenge to smuggle that either. The first step towards saturating the world with nukes.
His plan. Guards, they must know where the containers are. If you can just squeeze it out of them.
Shh. The metallic archaea was to save the Dine.
What made you think a tool for creating undetectable nuclear weapons would save your people?
After 70 years, the Dine reclaimed the Navajo nation from which we were banished. We bore all the hardships of poverty, but we were proud.
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around.
Caralho, Cass.
Watch yourself.
The moment the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, everything changed.
I don't get it.
The nuclear arms race between the US and the Soviet Union began with the end of the Second World War. Suddenly, there was a massive demand for uranium. And it was our ill fortune that the ground beneath the Navajo Nation was rich with uranium ore. The Black Ana government set up mine after mine, and many of the Dine worked them.
Mano, eu vou voltar, que merda.
Of any danger. Every day they went to work with no protection. The slag was simply piled out in the open. When rain fell, uranium traces left behind would seep out, and when the ground dried,
Puta que pariu, tem uma galera aqui.
land and water were contaminated, irradiated. Many of us became sick and died. That pain lives on to this day.
I had no idea.
Wanting more than anything to revive the
Vou ficar na
land
água.
my forebears
Vou
left
ter que esperar.
me. I was delighted upon discovering microbes that eat uranium. If they could be domesticated, I believed we could rid our land of uranium.
Were you successful?
No. The research called for funding on a colossal scale. But nobody was willing to invest with no
Our
prospect.
early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy choppers. But it's only a matter of time before they arrive.
And you people, we share the same will. That is what he said to me. And I believed him. Black Ana forced me to abandon my uranium cleanup work and focus on nuclear weapons. And he held all the Dine hostage. Today, uranium mines within the
Ah,
reservation
realmente.
closing down. It is simply less expensive now.
Ai, ai, eu vou morrer aqui. Tá 2,54. Ô, meu cacetão.
Your targets are 2 containers.
Ah, não imaginava que o cara ia tá com todo tancudo. Qual que era a fita mesmo? Era alguma coisa do Coach Talker, velho. Não, era arca metálica, não era? É, aqui.
What made you think
After
Toda vez, pois é. Tá foda.
that is what he...
new victims, different places?
But uranium is a tactical resource. To rely on a foreign country for it is a difficult decision to make. And he was in the perfect place to influence that decision.
He could have condemned your people to the mines forever.
The contamination comes not only from uranium.
You have arrived.
The fallout from the Nevada nuclear tests also settled on our lands. As if our fortune were not already bad enough. We are also downwinders. To save the Dine.
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the targets. Watch yourself.
Vocês gostam de interromper o Code Talker, né? Ainda bem que eu consigo entender um pouco o que ele fala, mas atrapalha, hein? Caralho. Nossa, tão de atrapalhar o velho.
The one that covers the parasite that lives on the surface of the skull's similar to my children who live in my skin. I modified the parasites I isolated from the body of that old man, differentiating them with various abilities. One that can blend perfectly into its surroundings by exposing the pigments in its cells at will. Another that, by harboring multiple species of metallic archaea, can oxidize and reduce metal. Isolating the one that covers and transplanting it into an artificial medium should provide the same abilities as the skulls, but they can only subsist within a human body. Once transplanted into the medium,
Que eu me quebro.
they will eventually die. Another thing, the weakness of the one that covers is desiccation. Their surface moisture loss is greater than ours. The reason they give off mist is to alleviate this by releasing the salts inside them as microparticles. Water vapor condenses around them, appearing as mist. But this dries out the atmosphere until they cannot even produce mist. And once their supply of water from the host runs out, the parasites are in danger.
Our early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy.
Caralho, Cas, para.
It's only a matter of time before they arrive.
A similar effect occurs if they come into contact with a large amount of water. Rain, for instance. The one that covers will temporarily abandon other processes in his eagerness to absorb the water. Pitihorone. Make the weather your ally.
Os caras tão tudo aqui, mano. Eu tô sentindo que eu vou ter que fazer uma baguncinha, senão eu vou demorar pra caralho. Ah, não vi isso?
After 70 years, the Diné reclaimed the Navajo nation from which we were banished. We bore all the hardships of poverty, but we were proud to live off the land we called our own. But in the moment the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, everything changed.
I don't get it.
The nuclear arms race between the US and the Soviet Union began with the end of the Second World War. Suddenly, there was a massive demand for uranium. And it was our ill fortune that the ground beneath the Navajo Nation was rich with uranium ore. The Black Ana government set up mine after mine, and many of the Diné worked them, never informed of any danger. Every day, they went to work with no protection. The slag was simply piled out in the open. When rain fell, uranium traces left behind would seep out, and when the ground dried, it was blown about as dust. Land and water were contaminated, irradiated. Many of us became sick and died. That pain.
A gente ouviu isso?
I have no idea. One thing more.
There's something I've been wondering. Why are you called Code Talker? During World War II, the U.S. military used the languages of different tribes, including the Navajo, as codes, right? I know the term Code Talker was used to mean people sent to the battlefield to speak in those codes. Were you one of them?
Our mother tongue was indeed used for war. But I did not go. I was already over the conscription age. However, I was made to help craft the codes that were spoken. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that.
Visibility in the jungle isn't great. Watch out. You could run into the enemy at any time.
Chega.
Feel the roots, the branches, become one.
O Code Talker tem que interromper do Code Talker, velho.
Forest is aware of the enemy's noise. You must be too. According to a code book, and then translated those into our language. young Dinet
Achei um.
to the front lines of the Pacific Theater as code talkers. To fight is an honor for the Dinet. They were the pride of our people. But I cannot say this history brings me joy. Words are alive. When they are spoken, life is breathed into them. They become a part of the listener. Our words were transformed into lifeless ciphers and used for war. This, after the Black Ana spent generations suppressing the language.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I guess we shouldn't be calling you Code Talker, huh?
No, I do not mind. The reason Skullface called me Code Talker was because I also am responsible for coding language into the vocal cord parasites. I am the same as those young warriors, used for a cipher's sake. I must never forget that. The name, Code Talker, is a lesson carved into my being.
You said Skullface.
Pelo visto, todo mundo interrompe o Cold Stalker. Ninguém respeita o velho.
But you also said he wasn't the reason.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasites. That is a fact.
How? You mean from your curiosity as a scientist?
That I cannot deny. But there is more to
É.
The story goes back to the 19th century. To my earliest
Bosta.
memory. One
Que
day,
merda,
a
caralho.
man from the government visited our Hogan, our home. I cried as he yanked me from my and took me away to an Indian
Que
boarding
bosta.
From that day forward, I became George. This was the name my teacher gave me. I was forced to give up my Dinet name. Forbidden from speaking anything but
Perdido.
English.
Socorro.
If we dared utter a word of filthy Navajo, the teacher made us eat a
Vou morrer aqui.
Yeah. That was the U.S. government's education policy.
Ai, que caralho, né?
To erase our words was like erasing our people. Their education was tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Over time, the overt persecution of our language stopped.
Target extraction.
Estão me vendo?
It continues
That leaves one target to go. Take care of the next one.
is English.
Boss, our early warning radar just picked up the enemy choppers. We'll keep you informed of their ETA. Hurry up and extract the target.
Minority
Can't go firing on the XOF choppers.
languages.
If we attack XOF now, it'll be a declaration of war against Cypher itself. That time will come, but it's not now.
Yes, I began thinking that minority
Onde?
languages needed some sort of deterrent against dominant languages. In order that they, that
Caralho,
their
mano.
peoples and cultures would survive. It was then that I came
Onde?
at the foundation,
Que?
claiming that man acquired language thanks to a type of parasite, one that distinguishes between languages as a precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English.
Achei.
Failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate against the English language. Though never did I intend to.
Eu caí no buraco. Eu caí no buraco.
Talk to me! Snake! Snake!
Eu não aguento mais. Puta que pariu, velho.
Your targets are 2 containers.
Ai, que buceta de missão. Onde eu tava, mano? Eu já escutei esse, é que não salvou.
What made you think a tool
Era esse? Não, era esse, era
You
esse.
said Skullface ordered you to weaponize the vocal cord parasites. But you also
Só que
said
tava bem mais avançado essa fita aqui.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasite. That is it.
Deixa aqui.
It was then that I came across literature at the foundation claiming that man acquired language distinguishes between languages as a precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English. But I failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate against the English language. Though never did
Boss, looks like they're stepping up security around the targets. Watch yourself.
I was forced to study how to make the parasites compatible with all the world's languages. All but English.
However, he in fact secretly isolated an English strain.
I will not be held prisoner by the man's phantom. The English strain must not be allowed to exist either.
Vamos lá. Skull fez 9 anos atrás.
Facts about our skull-faced friend. 9 years ago, he was exiled to South Africa, stripped of political power. The upshot's that he ceased being a serious threat, in Cypher's eyes anyway. They eased up on surveillance, giving him an opening to establish his own military unit, one that answered to his will alone. Those men likely had no idea their orders were coming from Skullface. They probably didn't even know the organization was a part of Cypher at all. Anyway, it was in South Africa where he found renewed interest in parasites. And when he discovered the vocal cord parasites, he began to make his plan. Wipe the English language out of existence. Free the world, not by taking men's lives, but by taking their tongues. In his eyes, the greatest symbiotic parasite the world's ever known isn't microbial. It's linguistic. Words are what keeps civilization, our world, alive.
There was something Skullface said.
Eu tenho uma ideia.
America is made up of many peoples.
Pode dar merda.
Peoples never mix. Quite so.
Our early warning radar still hasn't picked up the enemy
Que
target,
pariu, velho.
but it's only a matter of time before they arrive.
To their respective living areas.
Me lembro onde eu tô aqui.
Not interacting with other groups. Going out of their way to avoid one another. Their land, organization,
Vou ver se vai dar certo o meu plano.
thus the United
Vou tentar
States
empurrar
of
os
America
caras da
no melting
ponte.
pot. It is more of a salad bowl. It is not made up from one people, but for its minorities to function in society, a common ground is needed. Language. Even if the country is not
Bom.
one. No, because
Deu certo.
it's not one. A lingua franca is necessary. English. American hegemonism was born
Não consigo jogar, velho.
from the illusion that English could unite diverse ethnicities. In taking in people from around the globe, America became a microcosm of it. Now the boundaries between it and the rest of the world have become blurred. However different our neighbors may be, English enables us to create symbiotic relationships with each other. If English can bring unacquainted neighbors together in America, this should hold true for the world. This salad bowl that is the world can also become one.
Opa. Pera aí. Eu já leio, é que tá grandinho, eu tô prestando atenção aqui. Não vai. Seu trailer deve de Halloween, as skins vai ser pega pelo visto. Ah, é? Ah, mas não sei o resto. Mostraram um modo de... modo novo. Ah, modo novo de jogo, mas outros cosméticos que eu não sei se vai ser pago ou não. Com certeza vai ter coisa paga, mas talvez seja minoria agora. Tá, o que eu fiz agora foi diminuir os homens. Paga? Ah, bom, paga. Desculpa, eu tô prestando atenção aqui também. Você... Ah, as skins vai ser paga, não vai ser pega, porra. Eu me iludi por um momento, então. Eu me iludi sozinho, velho. Ah, eu não deveria ter pulado assim. Ah, velho. O que ele fez ali, velho? Ele se matou? Mas a skin de querido é de o que mesmo. Ah, é. Só que é pago, então... Então, tá ligado? Eu não vou pagar. Muito dinheiro pra pouca bosta. Infelizmente não vale a pena. Aqui que eu morri, mano. Caralhos, mas daí como é que eu... Ah, tem uma ponte ali. Aqui eu vi tem um chaveiro de abóbora. Parece um ícone novo da sombra e uns... Filha da puta, onde eu tô? Um spray da sombra da Junkrat quase beijando. Que? Tá bom, então. Meio aleatório ser as duas, mas tá. Só pra pegar as coisas, né? Sim. Falou. As duas é a Jinko. Nossa, mano. Pelo que vi, tem um chaveiro de abóbora e o que parece ser um ícone novo da sombra e um spray da sombra e da Junkrat quase beijão. Ah, Junkrat. Eu pensei que era a Queen, a Junker Queen, velho. Não Junkrat. Mas piorou. Mais aleatório ainda. Caralho, ele tá foda, hein? É muito texto num chatzinho pequenininho. E eu tentando quebrar a cabeça aqui como passa.
Research materials back in one piece. The medical team has them under lock and key in the quarantine facility. The materials should help their research into the vocal cord parasites. Cypher won't be getting their hands on them now.
Caralho, mano. Tá sendo uma churrada de fita agora. Tá faltando filha da puta. Aí ficou jogando agora um monte de fita, mano.
About that AI pod you retrieved from Emmerich's research facility. Guess what we found inside? A corpse. Human.
Que?
The pod maintained a low internal temperature the whole time, and very little outside air got in. That would have slowed down decomposition. Still, the remains were mostly skeletal. Estimated time of death is between 6 months and a year ago. We put the screws to Huey about it. Listen to the tape. Turns out it was the body of someone we knew very well.
Oxi, o corpo de quem tava dentro da IA, velho? Tô numa fita, qual? Hambúrguer, tem duas fitas de hambúrguer. Casa do jogo. Homem em chamas. Aqui.
Fine. Yes, Strangelove was doing AI research in that lab. Why hide that until now?
Porque a gente tem que falar do hambúrguer do cara, não sei.
I wasn't working alone. You've got to understand. You do understand, right? I didn't want to drag her into this. It's my load to bear, alone.
So you didn't create the AI intended to drive Sahelanthropus. It was Strangelove.
Skullface was never in favor of AI control. So naturally they argued. Strangelove, she got him angry and he killed her.
Ah, o Skullface matou o Strangelove.
You didn't see it? So you found her inside that pod after the fact.
Então é ela.
And you just left her body to rot in there.
Quem tá cuidando do otaku? Realmente, quem tá cuidando?
I asked him not to take her away from me.
So she was killed by Skullface, but you asked nicely, and he put her body in the AI pod for you?
That's right. Pathetic.
You know, we have another idea. That you killed her.
Me? I couldn't kill her.
You killed her and locked her body in the pod.
I wouldn't. Don't treat me like one of you. I can't just kill anyone whenever I feel like it. I'm a normal human being.
Oh, I see. So you just shut her inside and waited for her to die.
Oxi.
I would never do that.
Bom.
What, you mean she killed herself?
Yes. She climbed inside that pod and shut the door. It can't be opened from the outside. It was suicide. Suicide, I said. She killed herself. She got in when I wasn't looking and suffocated. She'd often try to do things like that. By the time I realized and opened the door, she wasn't breathing. I got scared and shut the pod again. I couldn't bring myself to open it back up. That's right.
Caralho, só tô olhando pra tela.
What is wrong with you?
Do nada uma bunda.
Just tell me one more thing.
Haven't you gotten enough today?
Okay, I see it's a painful memory. You don't have to answer, just listen to the question. You see, we examined her remains. She had a scar on her lower abdomen, a surgical scar. It had been stitched up and had fully healed, meaning it was long before her death. She had a child, didn't she?
What the?
Your child. Where's the kid?
How should I know? So there is a child. I've never seen his face. What do you take us for? They took it all. Even my child. I didn't even know he'd been born. I lost everything.
How old would he be?
It's 4 years since then.
And you know it's a boy.
Strangelove said so.
And his name?
We called him Hal. Even though I never saw his face.
É bem parecido contigo, não se preocupa não. Só se olhar no espelho. Boa. Tem sua cara, tem a sua cara, Rio. Não se preocupe. Cara, mas eu acho que eu vou ver se vai ter uma cena extra. Se não tiver uma cena extra, eu vou voltar pro helicóptero e daí vou parar, que vai dar mais 5 horas já. Pior que eu sinto que fiz porra nenhuma. Se bem que teve um monte de cena dessa vez, né? Teve um monte de cena, tem um monte de fita que eu tenho que ver. Não teve nada de novo. A burrice parecida também. Eu nem fiz mais coisinha aqui, né? Inventar pelo menos um de cada pra todos. Pra 2, tá ligado?
Roger.
Boss, welcome home.
Never give you up, never let you down, never. Errei. Mas é isso. Bom, então, e amanhã eu continuo. Vai ter que ter muita fita ainda pra ouvir. E toda missão que eu tô fazendo vai ter mais fita ainda. Caralho, mano. Agora tá sendo enxurrada de diálogo. Mas é isso, tô indo então. Tchau, tchau.